You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who likes pina coladas but hates getting caught in the rain, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome to Nite Lite, ladies and gentlemen. I got a case of the Mondays, and it feels amazing. Great to have you here as we kick off a brand new week with so much potential. All the things that could possibly happen and all the experiences we can have on hand and teed up for a new week of Nite Lite or non-Nite Lite. Whatever you got going on in your life, have a great week, everybody. And this is a great way to start it. It's great to have you. Conrad, how you doing?
I am doing good. It was a fun weekend.
Yeah, you golfed, you said.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
That wasn't the fun part, though. You know, what was fun is just doing laundry. That was just so fun.
Did you have to wash your golf pants?
Yeah, well, I wore shorts, so that was, I made a mistake going out there with shorts and just
cold.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, my brother and my sister-in-law and some of his friends were at the state dart tournament.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was at the Rush Center, the Rush Expo. Yeah. Okay. And they got fourth place.
Was golf too athletic for them, so they had to switch to darts? How does that work?
What was funny is I texted my brother on Saturday, which he did. They had the state tournament on Saturday as well, but they did good enough to move on to Sunday.
Oh, that's cool.
But
I love darts.
I was like, "Do you want to golf on Sunday?" He's like, "Well, I'll let you know." And he's like, "Actually, you should come down." I watched them get fourth, and he's like, "All right, ready for golf?"
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. How is it watching darts?
Actually, it was pretty intense. It was state. It was pretty intense.
Cool.
That they were. It's not like pretty much everyone there is good at it.
Yeah.
So it's not So that was fun, and then
awesome.
It was his birthday too. So
was your brother's birthday?
Yeah.
Oh. And he had a sports weekend.
Yeah. No, it was fun, and then I watched Hacks, the new season.
Show. Very good show. I'm not on the new season.
I really enjoyed it. There's some moments in it like kind of cringe.
Yeah.
Make me a little cringy, but
I love it.
Other than that, so far, I think there's going to be like a couple more episodes left or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's really good.
Our pal Rose Abdu, of course, is on Hacks.
Yes.
She's always fun to have on the show, and she does a great job on Hacks as well. I had a great weekend. It was nice until Sunday. It got a little cold, but it was a beautiful weekend with friends. And I mentioned last week we had a family friend who passed, and so we were all kind of hanging out, and that's fun. And we've got services coming up this coming weekend, which a ton of people are coming to town for. So it sounds like it'll be another busy but fun weekend on the holiday weekend. Are you you got big plans?
I do not. I was, my sister-in-law invited me to go camping with her family, and but last time I did it, we slept in a tent. I can't do a tent.
The tents suck. You gotta love camping to do that.
I said, I'd love to, but I don't think I could do a tent. She's like, why not? And I'm like, I think I enjoy glamping more.
You enjoy what?
Glamping.
What's that? Glamorous camping?
Yeah. Well, camper, RV. Yeah.
Oh, that's glamorous. Compared to a tent, it is.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Last time my back hurt for like a week straight.
Yeah, I've never been a big camper. Can't do it. But I've done it, and it can be fun. It's fun to be with people and hang out, but just not my cup of tea. Great show tonight, folks. Great to have you here, whether you're joining us on the stream or the app or on the radio. The phone lines are open. Let us know throughout the show what you think. We have some fun topics and some fun guests tonight. Dr. Kristen Lyerly will be here at 6:35 tonight. She is always fun to have on Nite Lite, and she has her own show now. So a lot has happened to Dr. Lyerly since she's last spent any sort of significant time with us. She'll be here at 6:35. We'll ask her about her show. And she has two people she really likes to follow on Instagram. We'll have to ask her about that because I didn't know she was such a big fan of magic. That's kind of cool. She performs magic every day because she's a doctor and she delivers babies. So maybe the more ethereal, I don't know. It'll be fun to talk to Kristen. We got a lot to catch up on. She'll be here in studio. And then my pal Steve Seagren will be here at 7:35. Steve is an artist, an actor, and a former stand-up comedian. Very funny guy. I've actually cast him myself in a couple things. So it'll be fun to talk to Steve. He's always a blast. That's at 7:35. We've got a question we're about to lay on you people. It was the last episode of Saturday Night Live for its historic 50th season last Saturday. So our question of the night revolves somewhat around Saturday Night Live. Why don't we just do that right now, Conrad? Let's get to it.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
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 Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Hey, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda.
Question.
Question.
Questions.
Who is your favorite SNL cast member of all time? Not character on the show, but actual actor, comedian, whoever is your favorite, let us know. And this will be interesting because there's a wide range of, there's a couple generations to choose from. You got the Not Ready for Primetime Players, the original cast. Then Bill Murray joined right after that. After season 1, Chevy Chase left. Then you've got the cast that I remember the most, which is Phil Hartman, Dana Carvey, John Lovitz, Kevin Nealon. But that Not Ready for Primetime Players cast, that was great. Jane Curtin, Gilda Radner, Bill Murray, Chevy Chase, John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd. It's tough to compete. I don't know. It's tough. And then my son said Bill Hader and that group. He likes that group. Conrad, I'm sure you have opinions. I will say, I was talking to my son earlier today, Joe, and he said typically, or he's read that whatever the ensemble was when you were in middle school is typically the cast you gravitate towards. And I thought that was interesting.
I don't think that, for me,
okay,
it would be Kate McKinnon.
Well, of course. I didn't even have to ask you.
Yeah,
I was waiting,
you know it.
because I knew you couldn't wait to share the name Kate McKinnon again.
She makes me laugh every
She's
time
hilarious.
I see her.
She is absolutely hilarious. And, I mean, even if you break it down and go male and female, for me, it might be Kristen Wiig and Gilda Radner, a tie. But I think my favorite all around is just who made me laugh consistently was Phil Hartman. And from that group, I had trouble choosing between him and Dana Carvey. But I'm going to go Phil Hartman as my all-time favorite. You say Kate McKinnon. What do you, our cherished listeners, say? Let us know who your favorite cast member of Saturday Night Live was. If you want to share a character, that's fine too. Even a skit, great. Go for it. But our specific question is, who is your favorite SNL cast member of all time? You got 50 years to choose from, folks. We have a clip we'll play. Do we have time to play that now?
Yeah, we do.
Let's do that. This is Mike Myers. Okay, I got to set this up. Several years ago, Mike Myers was on a benefit with Kanye West. And they were trying to raise money for Katrina victims. And Mike Myers, who, I don't know if he was still on Saturday Night Live at the time or not, but he was talking about where you can donate. And Kanye West went on this rant about people in New Orleans. And frankly, a lot of what he said is probably true, but it had nothing to do with what they were talking about. And Kanye West just kept looking Mike Myers just kept looking at Kanye West like, oh my gosh, he's going totally off script. So that was a little contentious for the two of them. So they did a parody of that this past weekend on the season finale. Started out in an elevator with Mike Myers, Scarlett Johansson, and then Kenan Thompson joins in and plays Kanye West. And, let's just hear what we hear.
Or know what celebrity you're going to run into here.
That's true. Oh my God, is that Kanye West?
Yeah, what you talking about? Spotify removed my song, fam. Come on, give me one good reason. Besides that. How is it not relatable? Everybody got a cousin.
I guess it's my stop. Again, so nice to meet you, Mr. Myers.
No, it is not. It is not your stop.
What are you doing?
You can't leave me alone in here with him.
It's fine. I heard he's a delight.
Oh, hey, you Mike Myers, right?
Kanye, what's up, man?
It's just Ye now.
Sorry, Ye. I guess it's been a while.
Yeah, since that Hurricane Katrina benefit.
Yes.
You know, when I told the world that George Bush don't care about black people on live TV.
Yes.
And you just had to stand there looking stupid.
Yes. So, what have you been up to?
Oh, me? I'm in the KKK now.
Of course you are. Yes, yes.
How's your kids?
My kids are safe.
That's good. Family stability is important.
Isn't it, though? Yes. Yeah.
This Diddy stuff is crazy, right?
What?
Diddy. He's on trial right now for like a bunch of stuff.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah, it's so crazy, man. You think you know a guy, turns out to be a full crazy monster man.
Yeah, right. So what happened to you?
What do you mean?
Nothing. Not one thing.
Let's wait for the next one.
No, come back! There's plenty of room in here. There's plenty of room in this elevator.
So, Myers, that Jewish?
Protestant, actually. Protestant, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? We should take a selfie together. Come on.
Hold on one second. And elevators are so slow sometimes. What was that?
You must have hit stop or something. I think we stuck, man. We gonna be here for a while now.
Oh, no. Should we jump up and down until something happens?
Nah, man. I don't like doing crazy stuff.
You don't understand. I get really claustrophobic.
Oh, trust me, I understand. I'm a few phobics myself. Yeah. But right now, we just need to relax. You want some Nas?
No, I'm good. I just gotta get out of here. I gotta get.
Calm down, Mike. You sounded like a lunatic. Why don't I play you my next single, man? It's a love song.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Squeezing on My Grandpa Booty.
Just for sheer longevity, Kenan Thompson has been on this show longer than any cast member in history. He is always funny. I don't know that he's ever like the funniest guy on the show, but he's so consistent and so funny. So that was kind of cool. And it was cool to see Mike Myers back on the show, too. All right, another thing happening this week. Very exciting. May 23rd, Mission Impossible, the final installment, Dead Reckoning, the final reckoning. Actually, Mission Impossible, the Final Reckoning is the actual title. It has been getting worldwide premieres at Cannes Film Festival in New York over the weekend. It's already made $12 million. It's not even in theaters yet. This thing is going to go through the roof. And I'm so excited. I can't wait. We're organizing a big group to go on Sunday. Conrad, it might be worth the trip to Marinette, an hour north.
I'm excited for it.
It's going to be that much fun. I think it's going to be great. It's gotten... The buzz is crazy. The stunts are great. It's Tom Cruise's best. And this is the biggest release, I think, box office release that I can, in modern memory, maybe since the last Mission Impossible. I mean, all the Marvel ones are big, but they're all sort of big. This is huge. I can't even begin to say how excited I am to see this movie. This is what movies are all about. This is the blockbuster, the summer blockbuster, ladies and gentlemen. Starting this Friday, Tom Cruise has been getting standing ovations everywhere he's gone where this is played. And the buzz is real, folks. Dr. Kristen Lyerly is here at 6:35 in studio. Then my buddy Steve Seegren at 7:35. We've got a lot to talk about with Dr. Kristen. That's coming up in just a few minutes. We're going to read your texts when we come back and talk about a new Millhouse. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You're listening to Civic Media. Stay up to date on the latest news and information for your local community and Wisconsin by signing up for our free email newsletter. Visit civicmedia.us/email to get started.
Welcome back. It's finally Monday, folks. Let's rejoice. We've got a whole week of shows here at Nite Lite to keep you entertained and entertain ourselves, frankly, because all of you that listen are my entertainment, as well as hopefully we entertain you as well every night. But thank you for listening. And if you're listening on the stream, Conrad, how can people do that?
Yeah, if you want to go to Facebook, Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, WISS, or WGBW, and on YouTube, Civic Media, or WGBW, and on Twitter, or X, or Twix, WGBW, or Civic Media.
Lots of ways to reach us and be part of the show. Our text line is 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. If you're following or watching on the stream, give us a like or a follow if you don't mind on Facebook or YouTube or X. What do you call it now?
Twix.
What are we calling it? Twix. I like Twix. So, but great to have you with me, folks. We got a fun show tonight, and our question of the night is, who is your favorite SNL cast member? Not necessarily character, although you're welcome to share that as well if you like. But we're wondering who your favorite SNL-like actor or comedian is. So many great ones. Dave on the stream says Eddie Murphy. I kind of forgot about Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I forgot he was on SNL.
And even more so, I forgot about Joe Piscopo. But there's good reason for that. Eddie Murphy was pretty much he and Joe Piscopo were like the two marquee names. And that was right after the Not Ready for Primetime Players? But Eddie Murphy's great. Good one, Dave. Dave also says Chris Farley from Madison. How about Chris Farley? How do we forget Chris Farley, right?
My favorite male.
Favorite male?
Yeah. Just of all time.
Yeah, he's great. And the stories that surround Chris Farley in the writer's room, and if you've read books about Saturday Night Live, Chris Farley had fun and really entertained people on and off stage. You know, and like with SNL, people like going off doing their own movies, sometimes they're clunkers, you know? Yeah. I think Chris Farley had really good... I agree. As a cast member, really good movies. And there were movies that the cast members did that Lorne Michaels was also a producer on. And I think Tommy Boy was one of them. The David Spade movies, the Rob Schneider movies. I don't know if you could count Chevy Chase's movies like that because his were separate films, as were Bill Murray's. So that would be a different category, but that would be a good question one night too. Best Saturday Night Live films. But that's a great category too. We have to do, here's Daniel Wheeler says, Will Ferrell. He broke so many of his fellow cast members with his offbeat characters. Their attempts to stifle laughter made the skits even funnier. He also elevated cowbell to a top-tier musical instrument. That's true, and you just forget. It's not like I forgot Will Ferrell was on SNL, but there are so many characters that didn't come to mind right away that we're probably going to be hearing about throughout the night. J.B. Thompson, agreeing with me. Phil Hartman, amazing actor. I agree, J.B. Guy behind the guy. Behind the guy. Phil Hartman had a bit part in Quick Change and was hilarious. Just as a guy who was a renter with his wife, he just makes everything funny. Ezekiel Drew says, it's go time. Picture Chris Farley. I think we know where Ezekiel's loyalties lie. Sarah Jean on social media says, oh man, way too many favorites. David Spade, Kevin Nealon, Eddie Murphy are probably some of my top favorites. I take that back. Add Damon Wayans and Phil Hartman. Dude, Damon Wayans? Yeah, I didn't even know he was on us. I didn't either. But did I? I don't know. I totally forgot. I think we got to go to the Google. He's on it. And then we've got on the text line, boy, these are all great, though. Monica from Mount Horeb says, Gilda Radner. Outstanding choice, Monica. And Gilda Radner talk about a life that's cut too short. Damon Wayans purposefully got himself fired from SNL by going off script. I snapped. I just did not care. He said that? The first I typed in Damon Wayans SNL, and that's the first thing that popped up. That's great. And he did not do the Larry David where he told off Dick Ebersol and marched out and then went back in like nothing happened. Just like the character he wrote, George Costanza did that, but Larry David did it successfully. Damon Wayans obviously just wanted to leave. He had a lot of other stuff going on, too. Melissa from Madison also says Gilda. Great choices. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Monica. Love Gilda Radner. Steve from Florida says, I got to say, Chris Farley has been my favorite SNL character, maybe because his hometown was Madison. Yeah, that's a good reason. But regardless of where Chris Farley is from, you're not being a homer. He's just hilarious. Yeah. He'd be up there no matter where he was from. And he graduated from Madison, right? I think he grew up in Madison spent his whole life there until he went to Chicago and did Second City. Fairly certain. Brian from Milwaukee says, Sherry O'Terry. Oh, nice pull. Will Ferrell and Dan Aykroyd. There's a nice varied time stretch there. Yeah, Sherry O'Terry, I forgot about. Rachel Dratch is hilarious, too. Debbie Downer is one of my favorite all-time SNL characters. Steve also said about Chris Farley, he always made me laugh uncontrollably. Agreed, Steve. Brian from Milwaukee says, David Spade, can't forget Gilda Radner, who married Gene Wilder, who is from Milwaukee. You see how everything, ladies and gentlemen, comes back to Wisconsin? Wisconsin is the center of the universe, both comedically and non-comedically. We have texts. I always like to read these because I don't like to let texts go unread. But over the weekend, what was our question? The most disgusting food?
Yeah.
We have, Kristen Lyerly in the hizzy, ladies and gentlemen. She will be along. And I'm going to ask Kristen her least favorite food. Don't tell me now, though. Think about it. Ruminate. John Mino. This one made me laugh. I saw this over the weekend. Mino says oxtail.
That doesn't sound good.
I'll tell you what, it's not nearly as delicious as bull penis. We talked about that last week. Deandra Marie, fantastic singer-songwriter who was on the show last week, says oysters. I agree texture-wise, but I think we decided we liked oysters for the most part.
I mean, I like shellfish, so.
That's right. All right, we'll have to read the rest of these after. We got a break coming up. Kristen Lyerly is here. Dr. Kristen Lyerly, if you're nasty. If you know her from her own TV show. Radio show. TV's down the block. That's coming. You got a face for TV. You're just putting your time in here in radio, and we know that. All right. We're coming right back after the news. Civic Media's news team is going to tell you what's up. Don't leave, folks. It's great to have you here. It's Monday. Let's do this. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network. Stream, ladies and gentlemen, you are seeing Dr. Kristen Lyerly. She's a doctor, dancing and air singing, karaoke. Hey, welcome back to Nite Lite. This is Pete Schwaba. Great to have you with me on this beautiful Monday, sunny at least. I wouldn't say it's the warmest night we've ever had, but Steve Seagren will be here at 7:35. Renowned artist Steve Seagren and comedian, actor. But right now, it is my pleasure to welcome to Nite Lite, as I do, but not nearly enough. You haven't been here in a while, at least not for any length of time.
It's been a little while.
The world famous host of the Dr. Kristen Lyerly show. This worked out really well because your name is Dr. Kristen Lyerly. Can you imagine if you didn't get that gig and you're not even hosting your own show?
I'd be like, what?
What is going on?
Come on. That was not my idea. I'm still a little uncomfortable with it.
Right.
Because, I'm just like a kid from Kaukauna.
The streets of Kaukauna.
The streets on the north side.
The gritty north side.
I'm a north sider by Hain. Like that,
is that the tough part of town?
No.
Of Kaukauna? A tough part of town in Kaukauna is 41, driving through and having to smell whatever it is we smell there when we
money? That's the smell of money, Pete. Yeah.
I thought it was hog rendering or something, but whatever it is, it smells delightful.
It's the paper mill. Here's what Kaukauna is like. I grew up on the north side near Victor Hain Elementary School that was named after one of my high school friends' grandfathers.
Oh, wow.
Because everybody is related in Kaukauna.
Is that true?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it's basically part of Green Bay, Metro, Appleton. Isn't it kind of...
We never came to Green Bay when I was little. We would always go to Appleton.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What do you make of that?
They're all kind of connected.
Yeah.
Ish. It's maybe a little closer.
But they've got the football team here. Doesn't that do anything for you?
We didn't have tickets.
And
also, it was the 70s. So
you didn't need to come to Lambeau Field,
right? I mean, my parents were having a struggle time with it at home, so we didn't need to come all the way to Green Bay to struggle to watch the Packers lose.
It's great to have you here.
We love our Packers.
Yeah. I've got the wrong set of questions here. Do you mind if I ask you questions about Steve Seagren? Is that a problem?
Yes.
I don't. The last time I printed up like 1,000 questions for you, I don't think I got to one of them.
I know. Can I tell you my favorite SNL cast member?
Yeah, absolutely.
There are so many good ones. I'm one of those SNL people who, like, every Saturday, I look it up to see, is it a new episode or is it one that I haven't seen before? Oh, I love SNL.
Nice.
Yes. And then my goal is to make it through Weekend Update. If I can make it through Weekend Update, then I feel like I've done my piece.
You don't feel so old. You feel like a kid again.
Yeah, like I should maybe go to bed after that. But
Right.
sometimes commonly I'll stay up.
Yeah.
And then some of the good skits are actually at the end.
Yeah, I think they can do like edgier stuff at the end too, maybe. But my favorite was always when The Simpsons would make fun of Saturday Night Live and Krusty would say, like when Krusty would host it, and he'd say, "Well, the last hour is a real garbage dump." They didn't have any problem going after him. Do you have a favorite cast member though?
I would have to say so many good ones.
Yeah.
What about Eddie Murphy?
Yeah, Dave on the stream said Eddie Murphy, and I kind of forgot Eddie Murphy was on. I didn't even, Will Ferrell didn't even come to mind when I was trying to jog my brain, but there's so many great ones. And Molly Shannon and Gilda Radner, and somebody said Sherry O'Terry. I like Kristen Wiig. She does the tiny
funny.
hands bit. I'm on the floor. Like, that is literally one of the biggest laughs I've ever had in my life.
Have you been seeing that skit, the Lawrence Welk skit with like the "I'm Debbie"?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've played that on here before.
So they've been doing it recently with like the world leaders, and at the end it's "I'm Denise" and it's Donald Trump with the little hands.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's hilarious.
I'll find it for you.
All right,
it's so good.
Maybe we could play that. So all right. So your favorite though is.
Oh, it's hard to pick. I don't like picking favorites.
Wait a minute. You brought this up.
Well, yeah.
You said, "Can I say my favorite?" And I said, "Yes."
It's Eddie Murphy and Will Ferrell.
Oh, Eddie Murphy. Right.
And
Okay.
Kristen Wiig's amazing.
What about Gilda? You go back that far with the show?
I do. Yeah. It was so early. Like the early cast members, I don't feel as connected to.
Yeah. Okay.
Anthony Michael Hall. Just kidding.
Wow.
Do you remember
That's the down year.
John
But a lot of
Lovett?
people like that cast. It's crazy. Like they're kind of forgotten about. It was him and Robert Downey Jr. was a cast member.
I totally forgot he was on
Yeah.
it. Yes.
I have to ask you a question. This was last week's. I think it was it Friday Night Con that we did the worst food?
Yeah. Yep.
Food that literally makes you want to puke. Do you have a least favorite food? John Mino said oxtail.
John Mino. Because that's
I know
all
exactly
they had
what
to
you
eat
meant when you
growing
said
up
that.
In Nagani.
Was oxtail?
Yeah.
You
Have
gotta
you
go
been
out
to
and-
Nagani?
I have actually. I
All
did
the
stand up
ox
there.
walking around
back
with no
in-
tails.
You got to go out and kill one for dinner. It's a rough life.
That's right.
It's like growing up on the north side of Kakana, the gritty, the gritty streets. I don't remember what I said. What did I say last week? What was my least favorite?
I forgot too. I know mine was canned tuna.
Yeah, Conrad.
Oh, really? I love canned tuna.
It's the smell.
Oh.
When you open it, I just can't do it. I can't get over that smell.
Do you have a little PTSD? Did you have a bad canned tuna?
No,
experience?
my dad would feed my cats growing up canned tuna, and I just smell that when I'd go up in the kitchen or came home from school. I was like, how could you eat that?
What about tuna in a bag? You know they have the new bags. Does that bother you too?
I actually really like tuna steaks.
Like some ahi, a nice
Like
ahi.
yeah, that's good. It doesn't have that weird smell to it.
Right.
I don't know. When it comes out of a can, it's just like, ugh.
I worked in a salmon canning factory for one day in Alaska. One day. And they put everything in those cans. Like they would just chop the salmon up.
Preservatives, you mean?
No,
Oh, the salmon.
The
Oh,
salmon
wow.
would come out on a conveyor belt, and we were all just standing on the conveyor belt, and we would just grab a can and just shove salmon parts into it. And I was being picky because I didn't want like spine
An eye?
and stuff in there.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, just put the salmon in the can. And I was like, I'm out. I can't do this.
And that's when you decided, I want to deliver babies.
I'm going to be a doctor instead.
Another leap from salmon factory to doctor. We've heard it a million times. I think I said like tapioca pudding. I don't like
Oh, I like that.
creamy, like I can't do Alfredo sauce. It literally that kind of stuff. But I don't even remember what I said either. What the hell?
You know, I think I'll have to look it up. quick.
You're coming up with a lot of things right now, though.
Well,
What about bobo tea?
is that what you brought me that night?
No, that was kombucha.
Kombucha, right. All right. I'm sorry to bring this up. I think I brought this up last time you were here too, but I was telling my sister, I think, that there was placenta in that.
Well, it's called a SCOBY, but it's like a placenta.
But where does that come from? Was that part of a person at one point?
No,
Okay.
it's SCOBY is an
That makes
acronym. Something bacteria and yeast something. I'm sure somebody's going to text it and tell us what the acronym stands for. It's just this. It's like a living thing that actually ferments the tea. It's all it is tea.
Oh.
It's tea with sugar in it, and then the SCOBY ferments it. So you actually take the SCOBY out. You can eat the SCOBY. It's healthy. It's fine.
I did taste it. I was not afraid of it after you steered us properly and said, no, it's okay. You can, but it's not. It was never part of someone's body.
No.
Okay.
No.
That's a relief.
But people think of it like it's like because it floats in there.
It has a
and it's
weird
kinda
texture.
stringy and, yeah.
It's like an oyster, sort of, a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was
Rubbery.
strange. Yeah.
So you said bologna.
Bologna. Oh, God, bologna. Yeah.
Bologna.
I can't do bologna.
That was like a favorite food growing up. My mom would cut the edges, like she'd slice
Cut the
into
crusts?
it.
Yeah.
Not the crust. She would like make like a vector into the center of the bologna, and then
Okay.
she'd fry it, and we would have fried bologna sandwiches.
People love it. And I ate it as a kid with mustard.
Yeah.
You know what I can do as far as cold cuts go, or your cured meats? I can do salami with mustard and a piece of cheddar cheese or something.
Oh yeah.
Get out of here. It's great
Salami
stuff.
or summer sausage?
What's the difference? Because I almost said summer sausage. Are they that different?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
How
Summer
so?
sausage is like the Wisconsin. It's brown. It's like smaller. It comes in the big thing. Salami tends to be like bigger, thin sliced. You get it at the deli.
Yeah, I think
It's
salami.
pinker.
Salami then. And I don't. That kind of grosses me out now too. But I would muscle through it if that sandwich is in front of me right now and I'm breaking a fast or something. I would eat that but I have to look past the white specks in it. It's just fat, right? Yeah. I don't know. I think I eat much differently than I used to. Not always. I mean, look, I'll mouse some Taco Bell once in a while. But I don't know. I try not to eat that stuff.
Oh, I used to be able to put away a whole bag of taco flavored Doritos.
Oh, taco is the best.
Oh, like
Taco.
the regular size, big, like a normal size that a family would
Absolutely.
eat. I could pound one of those.
That was the first Dorito flavor I remember when I was a kid, was just taco, like nacho cheese. When that came on the scene, it was like that became the new thing. And I was like, well, what about taco? Taco. I felt sorry for the taco flavored chips.
You can get them again though. They're back.
Yeah, I know. It's like a retro thing.
It is.
All right, so let's talk about your show. Dr. Kristen Lyerly is here. She's in studio, like she so often is here at Nite Lite, and it's so great to have her here. She has her own show now. You were a guest on everybody's show because everybody likes your insights and your intelligence and all that kind of stuff. But tell us about your show.
My show is all about Northeast Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It airs on Saturday and Sunday at 3 p.m. And it's like a long form interview with somebody. Like last week, we talked with Eric Genrich, the mayor of Green Bay.
Yeah.
This week, we're having some folks, the mayor of Sheboygan, actually, and a school board member from Sheboygan, and someone who runs a daycare in Sheboygan to talk about what's going on with childcare in Wisconsin. You might be familiar that we are losing this giant federal subsidy. Governor Evers had it in the budget to backfill. Childcare providers only make like $13 an hour.
I know.
And childcare is super expensive, and it's almost unaffordable for a lot of parents. There are wait lists. We don't have enough centers. This is a crisis for families, and the Republicans
directly
took it
hurts
out of
the
their
economy
budget.
too. Like if people can't find people to watch their kids,
Right? They're not in
I
the
don't think people
workforce.
think of it like that. It's terrible.
Right.
So yeah.
And that hurts your community. If you can't get people to come out and work in your small business, this is one of those complex problems that really needs a state or federal solution.
Right.
And it's not happening right now. So we're going to hear some stories. We're actually taping tomorrow. So
So that's coming up Saturday. Okay. So if you have opinions on this, folks, tune in this weekend. And, well, you pre-record, so you probably can't take text during the show, but do you get comments afterwards? Like, do people chime in after? And that's good.
Yeah, I get private messages on my social media accounts.
Okay.
I love that. I want to know what people want to hear.
Yeah.
And it's cool to have time. Like when I got to talk with Mayor Genrich, it was just so neat to like tease him a little bit about not being a good athlete in high school.
You know that?
That's what we talked about. Like, how often do you get to get that from the mayor? You know,
Yeah.
he was like a real person. He was like, I was good enough to play, but not good enough to play in high school. And
Okay.
I was like, me too. I'm less of an athlete, more of an athletic supporter. Right? So it's a nice, easy conversation. But we also get to talk about things that affect us here in the community.
Right.
So I don't know. I really like it.
I met Mayor Genrich Genrick?
Yeah, I always get
Genrick.
messed up because it looks like Rich.
Right.
But it's Rick.
I think we were both guests on Mino and the Mayor one morning. And he acted like it was my friend. And he said he was going to come on this show. And he never did.
Oh, do you need me to do a solid for you?
That would be great because I never even asked him.
Yes.
But I would love to have it. He seemed like a good guy when I met him. He seemed like pretty cool.
He is a good guy.
Was he a good guest?
He was a really good guest, and he answered hard questions with like real answers. It wasn't like political talk or garbage. It was like, this is a tough answer, and I'm just going to tell you the truth.
Don't you love people like that? Like they don't give you a canned response. He's a good mayor, right? Pretty good.
Yeah, I think he's a good one.
Better than Jim Schmidt was.
Well,
I'm holding her feet to the fire. If Jim is listening, Jim, I had nothing to do with that. All right. Dr. Kristen Lyerly is here, folks, and we have a quiz for Kristen Lyerly. And we'll talk a little bit more about her show and all kinds of fun stuff. I want to ask you about your documentary, too, if I could do that.
Oh, please.
That's all coming up. It's Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Don't you forget, it's my love.
You're listening to Civic Media. Find the latest news, information, and archives of all your favorite shows on the Civic Media website, civicmedia.us.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Rich Locascio. You're listening to Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba. I would like to introduce to you the Pine Tree Mauler from Marinette, Wisconsin. He is Pete Schwaba!
Thank you, Rich. Welcome back to Nite Lite. That is a great nickname, wrestling, the Pine Tree Mauler, because we have the Pine Tree Mall in Wisconsin, in Marinette. I don't even know if it's still called the Pine Tree Mall, though. It's gone through many iterations over the years. We used to do this thing where we would walk around the mall when we first moved back here, and my wife and I would try to pick out what store was where. There was the
back in the
Id,
day.
there was Musicland, all these
Id.
crazy, the Id Boutique.
Oh, I totally forgot about that place.
We had a Regis. We had
hairstylist.
I'm saying that like that's a huge thing. It's not. It's a Regis.
No, but it was huge to us.
Osco was there, like all these old stores, Prangy Way. Anyway, crazy stuff.
Oh, now you're making me think of all those stores.
Probably not that different than Kaukauna, but Kaukauna is a little bigger than Marinette, I think.
We would go to Appleton. Yeah. We'd go to
So
when
would
they built
we.
the
Or
Fox
Port
River
Plaza.
Mall. That was like a big deal.
Was that post Port Plaza? Port Plaza was first, right?
But it was too far for us to drive from Kaukauna to Green
Kaukana's
Bay.
closer to Appleton than here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Port Plaza was a big deal, though. That was like a great, right across the street here.
I know.
Yeah. All right, so tell us. All right, we're talking about the Dr. Kristen Lyerly show. Yeah. Dr. Kristen Lyerly is here. She's the host. How do you like hosting?
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so different.
You're
than
really
being a
good
guest.
at it. You picked it up like in no time.
Oh, thanks.
And I had my doubts. I'll be honest. But no, you did very well.
It's like having a conversation.
Yeah.
As long as you can keep it going and ask interesting questions and try to take it in a way that people want to listen. Whenever I have a new guest, and most of my guests are not used to being on the radio, I always just tell them, we're just going to talk about the stuff that we usually talk about. So Justin Schumacher, who was my guest a couple weeks ago, he's the chair of the Town of Freedom, and he's also the director of the Outagamie County Park System. And he was super nervous.
I was listening to part of that. Yeah, that was a good interview.
Oh, but he didn't seem nervous because we had a great
he seemed
conversation beforehand. And I was like, listen, we're just going to have the same kind of talk that we did before. And in between when we were doing a break, he goes, this is my bar talk. I know how to do this. So it's just your bar talk. Stuff that you would be talking to anybody about.
Is there a particular kind of guest you want to get on the Dr. Kristen Lyerly show? Do you have a mission, so to speak, or are you just looking for interesting people?
I like to highlight the beauty of Northeast Wisconsin.
All right, I'll do your
people.
show. Jeez. Sorry, continue.
No, that's what it is. It is just, there are so many hidden treasures here.
Yeah.
So whatever we can do to bring people together to have that conversation so that other people in the community can go, oh, the Children's Museum, or, oh, I didn't know that about freedom, or, oh, I didn't know that Eric Genrick was not a good athlete. Just kidding. Just kidding, Mayor. You are a good athlete, just not good enough to play in high school.
If I ever
like
get
me.
him on the show, I would love to have him do something athletic or sports related in here.
Yes.
Let's put our thinking caps on.
You should ask him.
I could get a basket back there.
You think so?
What are those little Nerf
like
hoops?
A Nerf hoop, see if he can dunk.
See if he can dunk.
right. We'll
I bet he
deny
can.
that. You also did a great episode about Make America Healthy Again.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you something. You're a doctor, and I know you're an OBGYN, but what are just give me 3 things people can do where they don't have to spend a lot of money and they can just become healthier?
Yeah, eat well, exercise, and get some sleep.
Okay.
How's that? Is that what
It was
you
a
were
little
expecting?
quick because I was hoping that would last to the end of the segment, but you really crushed that answer.
There's so much more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not about buying the right supplement. Most
Right.
supplements are garbage. Like a good multivitamin, yes.
Yeah.
Because we don't eat nutritionally complete diets. But otherwise, all the different supplements that you get sold, you know, they might make you feel good for a little while. There's a lot of placebo, but supplements aren't regulated. So you don't actually know bottle to bottle what you're getting because there's no testing for that.
Those are not FDA approved? Is that what you're telling me?
They are not.
I
Supplements
don't even know
are
if we
not.
have an FDA anymore, but
I know.
just
Supplements are not FDA approved.
but how do they pull that off? Are they safe? I mean, you're a doctor. What do you think?
Are they safe?
I don't drink energy drinks. I don't even do high fructose corn syrup, although I was craving a Coke last weekend and I had a Coke that tasted amazing. But even if I do soda, I'll try to do like real sugar. Not that that's healthy, but like I am more conscious of what I'm putting into my body these days. And I still have a 6-pack. It's under a few layers, but it is there.
It's under your bed and you pull out one at a time.
It's under my stomach, sadly. But there's a lot to be said about that. Like, you know, eating right, sleeping. Why is that so hard to do? People drink energy drinks, and I just want to say, drink some water and then go to bed. And it's the same thing.
I think it's marketing. Don't you think? It's
Yeah.
capitalism, it's access.
Yes.
That's the stuff that you can easily get. I love that Quick Trip now has fruits and cheeses
Yeah.
and meat and things like that that are more healthy, but they've got a giant chips aisle and all the candy. And we tend to gravitate toward the garbagey stuff because it's prettier. You know, one thing, I don't agree with Robert
That's
F. Kennedy Jr. on a lot of things, but there are a lot of dyes and things in foods that are not good for us.
Absolutely.
But Americans love colorful food.
Yeah.
And hands down, we will choose the prettiest food every single time. And it's not going to be the greenest spinach.
Right.
So that's really tricky. How do we change our food so that Americans still want to eat it?
You're right, though. I cannot stand being sold stuff. I'm so done. Stop with your stupid product. I can't. Everywhere you go, there are ads trying to get you to buy stuff. And I'm off topic because this isn't just food related. I just can't stand being told what to buy or even suggested. It's like, I know what I want. And a part of it is just I'm at the point in my life where I know what I want. I'm not going to buy your stupid product if I don't like it. But but I agree. Everything is, and you know, you've seen like I think it was the documentary Forks Over Knives where you go through a checkout aisle. That's all garbage food. Like they
That
want you to
impulse
impulse.
buying.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, Dr. Kristen Lyerly is here tonight. She is the host of the Dr. Kristen Lyerly Show, coincidentally enough.
Crazy.
And we're going to give her a quiz. Conrad, what is the quiz again?
It's a northeastern Wisconsin quiz.
Are you ready for that?
Yes.
I think you'll do okay.
Okay.
We might have a couple baby delivering questions in there too. But
Sweet.
Yeah.
I just came back from the conference, so I'm ready.
Oh, we got to talk about that too. All right. Lots coming up still, folks, with Kristen Lyerly. Intermission happens now. Learn something. Civic Media's news team is going to crush it and keep you informed. We are coming right back. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.